Hey, folks, this clip is brought to you by Farm Bureau Health Plans. For better coverage, better rates, and better service, go to fbhp.com/ATOZ. That is Farm Bureau Health Plans. Let's finish the Nico conversation, talk about the defense some, because defense can be a completely new look in this bowl game. But I like this as kind of a starting point. Chris says, has Nico been taking reps with the ones this entire time, or was Joe leaving a new development? That was kind of how the news started coming out, at least from what I saw, was that it was sort of like, so Nico's taking a lot of first team snaps. And there was kind of this like rumor just like swirling around. And then it slowly turned into, oh, Joe's opting out. Nico's your guy now. And that's, again, really glad that that's the way that it worked out. But to move into that conversation about Nico, I'll just throw it to you, Zach. The question that we had was, does Nico, now working with the ones, being your starting guy, knowing the talent that he has, does that open up the playbook? Were they not able to do as much with Joe Milton at quarterback? And what does that mean for Tennessee if he has this expanded skill set?
Yeah, I think next season, moving into that, the playbook will be more like 2022. I think Joey Hosley having a year under his belt, even if Josh Heupel's mainly calling the plays, the way that communication goes, what they're seeing from up top, I think he'll be more in the groove with that. So I think all that will be a lot smoother. I think Nico's skill set allows the playbook to be opened up a lot. There's so many different things he can do in the run game where, I mean, yeah, Milton had some speed and had some big runs, but we didn't see the same elusiveness like that we saw from Hendon Hooker. We've talked about that before. Nico seems to have that in the limited times that we've seen him play. So I do think all of that will look much different in 2024. I don't think it'll look much different at all in the Citrus Bowl. So if you're going into this game and you're expecting the offense to be high flying and kind of look more like it did in 2022 with all these interesting wrinkles, and there still could be some wrinkles, it's a different player, but it's not going to be totally different. It's going to be a lot of what we've seen this year, and that's really because it's what makes sense against Iowa. The game plan against Iowa calls for a kind of vanilla, take what the defense gives you type of game plan because of the way they play. They play a lot of zone coverage, which is something that can get young quarterbacks in trouble because your eyes might not be in the right place. You might not see a safety. You know, it got Joe Milton a couple of times. Some cover 2 and cover 3 looks. Iowa's a quarters defense. They're going to play those safeties back. Their safeties are kind of the players in their defense where that's what Nico's going to have to read. They're the guys playing run pass every down. You're going to have to basically guess and read what they're doing based on where, and that's going to determine where you go with the ball. Because of the wide splits, you're probably going to see a lot of these screens out in the perimeter, a lot of these quick outs to receivers in the perimeter, because that's a way to get 4 or 5 yards almost every down if you execute, maybe more, if you block well. Iowa's tough to run against. They only gave up 120-plus yard run all season. Tennessee, the way they spread it out, will have a better chance to do that. But I think throwing those passes out to the perimeter, you kind of keep Nico out of trouble there. Possessions are going to be at a premium in this game. Iowa likes to sit on the ball. They're going to try to run as much clock off as possible. They're going to huddle. They're going to run the play clock all the way down. They're going to try to pick up 3-4 yards every single play and really drag this thing out. And Tennessee might get some 3 and outs and get the ball back quickly, but you're not going to be able to. You can't afford to waste possessions in this game. And I think Josh Heupel knows that. I think he said, yesterday when he spoke to the media, look, picking up positive yardage on first and second down is going to be critical in this game. So you're not in these third and long situations. So if you're looking for a deep shot on first down, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen on second down either, unless it's just there and you really, it's a 2nd and 3 maybe, and you feel comfortable taking that shot downfield because you like your chances on 3rd and 3. For the most part, they're just going to try to take what Iowa gives them, which Iowa, they're not going to play a lot of man coverage if at all. They might try to make it look like that. They'll do some zone blitzes there where they try to get to Nico, which again makes those quick, those plays to get the ball out of his hand quickly
Farm Bureau Health Plans has been serving Tennesseans for over 75 years, and much has changed in Tennessee over the years, but some has stayed the same. Farm Bureau Health Plans has always valued personal relationships, especially when it comes to good health and good service. Plan on Farm Bureau Health Plans for health, dental, and vision. For better coverage, better rates, and better service, go to fbhp.com/ATOZ or walk into one of their 200 plus locations across the state of Tennessee. That is fbhp.com/ATOZ. Farm Bureau Health Plans.
To the perimeter, away from the middle of the field, even more important. So just the way this game sets up, the playbook almost has to be kind of vanilla in what we've seen all season. So it's not, I think when people see that, they're gonna be like, oh, nothing's changed at all. But it's more a product of this is Iowa. This is how you go beat Iowa. You're gonna have to play that game. That's why I think that'll be what we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's what should work in this game. I think it's the best way to get Nico's feet under him is to keep it simple. And so I think they're gonna just do what this offense does best and play the hits. So, and what I think could be different, genuinely, is I think we said this after the spring game. Like Nico made that throw in the spring game to Ethan Davis that was just really impressive. Like, dropped it right in the breadbasket, just really beautiful. And I remember saying, that is a throw that Joe Milton can't make, period. Like, Joe Milton does not have that. He doesn't have that in the bag. Or if he does, I've still never seen it to this exact day. We went through an entire season, we didn't see it. So he has more of that touch. He has more of that finesse. He has more of that slipperiness. I think you could see the offense, they may not be opening up the playbook, but you could see the offense be smoother. You could see passes go better, have better outcomes than they would have with Joe kind of, throwing rockets in there. And so I think that is a very real possibility. And so hopefully that happens. But Iowa's defense is very, very solid. Top 5 in all of college football. Really good. Now we can move to the defense here off of Nico talk. Their offense, Iowa's offense, is very literally the worst in all of college football. 240 yards a game. To put that into perspective, I was just looking at it. I think the second worst, they are the worst. The second worst was like 260 yards a game. So the second worst is 20 yards per game better than Iowa's offense. Insanely bad. Their scoring offense, 4th worst in all of college football, 16.6 points per game. Tennessee averaged like 32 this year. With Joe, with the kind of stunted version of the offense that it had to play this season without those receivers, with Joe at quarterback, like 32-ish points a game, I think it was something like that. They're scoring 16.6. You're winning, yeah, in my personal opinion, you're winning this game with 17 points. I think not, and that's not just to say that's, oh, well, they're gonna only score their average. I think I was probably only going to score like 10 points. They're probably not going to score 16. When I just look, Tennessee's defense, your defensive line is essentially going to be your defensive line from the season. That's your strength on your defense. Your secondary, and there have been questions about this, I think multiple questions in the comments here. Your secondary for Tennessee, yeah. The offense for Iowa is absolutely just completely atrocious. I mean, where they even sit with passing on offense? Let's see. Fourth worst passing offense, 123 yards a game. How many? Let's see. Is that 9 passing touchdowns all season long? So they're not exactly going to throw all over you. Could be a good day to get those young DBs a shot, kind of like with Nico. It kind of feels like this game's a nice entrance into college football. Ricky Gibson, he needs these reps. And maybe Iowa's a good team to start against because it's not like they're going to throw all over them. I'm interested to see how it goes. Obviously, how Nico fares, but how well can Tennessee's defense shut down this offense? Because it seems like you should maybe be ashamed if Iowa scores like 14 points on you.